Do you realize that the single most powerful brain hack doesn't cost money, isn't a supplement, and isn't even meditation? It's sleep. Yet, most of us treat it like a luxury instead of the foundation of everything. How? Your memory, your focus, your creativity, and your emotional control. Here's the scary part. Even one night of poor sleep can make your brain perform as if you're legally drunk. Why is that? But here's the exciting part. When you learn how to optimize your sleep, you unlock a neuroscience-backed superpower that boosts your productivity, mood, and even longevity. So today, we're diving deep into neuroscience of sleep and why is it the ultimate brain hack. And in the end, I'll give you powerful science-backed hacks to actually improve it starting tonight. Let's dive in. Sleep isn't rest. It's an active process. During sleep, the brain runs nightly housekeeping. What is that? Memory consolidation, short-term plus long-term storage. And then there is a system called glymphatic system flush. Consider it a brain's detox system. Clears beta amyloid linked to Alzheimer's. Sympathetic pruning, removing weak neural connections so strong ones can strive. If you remember the quote from Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep, he said, "Sleep is the single most effective thing we can do to reset the health of our brain and body." But think of sleep like hitting a save button on your brain. Without it, you lose files, your system slows, and even you, just like a computer, you crash. What happened next? Cognitive decline, reaction times slow, attention span shrinks, memory control. Sleep loss makes the amygdala, fear center, 60% reactive. More anxiety, irritability, and hormonal chaos, which is ghrelin and hunger hormone. Also leptin and satiety hormone. I've talked about these two hormones in a lot of my videos. Craving for junk food. That makes sense. When you don't sleep much, your satiety hormones, they really go down. And increased appetite increases. The hormone that increases appetite increases, which means craving for more junk food. Long-term risk. What is that? In clinical trials, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, obesity, and even depression. So, pulling an all-nighter doesn't just make you tired. It's like talking to a baseball bat to your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thoughts and decision making. That's why you reach for sugar snap at people, and forget simple things. That's not it. The cost of sleep deprivation. This is absolutely not acceptable in terms of human evolution and human life cycle. That's not it. A lack of sleep can cause changes to your menstrual cycle. Ladies, please understand, this is very important for you to learn that lack of sleep changes your menstrual cycle. What is that? What are those changes? Periods irregular by disrupting. What is that? Periods irregular by disrupting the body's hormone regulating and circadian cycle. Poor sleep can interfere with hormones like estrogen and progesterone, as well as melatonin, which regulates the start and duration of your cycle, potentially leading to delayed periods or skip periods. It also increases stress, which further impacts hormonal imbalance and overall productive health. So what happened in deep sleep and REM stage? Physical restoration, growth hormone release, immune boosting, REM sleep, vivid dreaming, emotional regulation, creativity, learning, visual. So in all of this, please understand, if you don't sleep or if you're deprived of sleep, excessive glutamate release in the brain can contribute to insomnia, as glutamate is the primary excitatory neurotransmitter. The balance between excitatory glutamate and inhibitory GABA is crucial for sleep-wake cycle, and disturbances in this balance, including high glutamate to low GABA, can disturb sleep and cause disorders, which means excessive glutamate also is responsible for Alzheimer's disease, for people to have shrink their hippocampus, loss of neurons in the brain. So keep this in mind. People who don't sleep well, sleep for 2 hours or maybe 3 hours, they're going to have problems with their memory function. So here's a solution. How do you balance between GABA and glutamate naturally? So you go for magnesium that acts as a natural NMDA receptor blocker, calming excessive glutamate activity. What are those foods? Pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach. Then you go for taurine and glycine, amino acids that support GABA activity, calming the brain. Then comes meditation and deep breathing. This has been proven to raise GABA level and lower glutamate-driven stress. If you don't want to do this, then you can go for the GABA-rich food, fermented foods like kimchi, yogurt, kefir, and indirectly support GABA production. The other thing that you need to avoid is overstimulation, too much caffeine, late night screens, and chronic stress increase glutamate firing in the brain. When you strengthen your brain's natural balance between calm and excitation, sleep comes more easily. Please understand this. It's not about forcing your body to sleep. It's about creating the right chemical environment for sleep to happen naturally. Now, here's the twist before I come to the supplements. Please understand this. I'll give an example. Let's say if you sleep at 10 p.m. at night and you wake up at 6 in the morning. If you sleep before 10 p.m., like I say, I sleep at 8 p.m. and I don't sleep at 10. Or if I sleep at 12 p.m. and not at 10 p.m., what's going to happen? The regulation gets disturbed. There's something that's going to release in your body, and that is cortisol. How? You sleep early, your body gets into stress because it's not your time to sleep. So if you sleep early, you'll feel restless, body will release cortisol. If you sleep at 12 p.m. and skip 10 p.m., 12 a.m. and skip 10 p.m., what's going to happen? Your body will start to release cortisol because now your body's in stress. Your body's tired, but you're not sleeping. So what's going to happen? Eventually, lack of sleep. Glutamate release. The brain is overstimulating, and there you go. You result in lack of sleep and insomnia. But to counterpart this, let's get on to the supplement. Supplements you can take like magnesium, glycinate, L-theanine, glycine, epigenin. And then if you go with the advanced hacks part, so with the advanced hack that can help in sleep performance, sleep restriction therapy for insomniacs, counterintuitive, limited bedtime to strengthening sleep drive, which means, like I said, sleep at the right time. Have your discipline. Sleep on the fixed time. Don't sleep early or don't sleep late. And the second, naps. Power naps. I love this. 20 minutes of nap is good for the brain. But if you exceed, you avoid 90 minutes of late naps. Why? Because now your brain will complete the sleep. And then when you go in the night, you'll have partial sleep, not fulfilling sleep. Then comes exercise timings. Regular activities improves deep sleep, but avoid intense exercise 2 hours before bed. That's my recommendation, because if you go late night for exercises, your brain will overstimulate and you'll have lack of sleep. The body won't repair and you'll have fatigue. So, go in the evening like 4 to 5 or in the afternoon. In the morning, no problem, but not at late time. Avoid it. Here's the thing. If you're considering supplements means, according to me, is the last resort, not the first line. Why? Because supplements are temporarily. They can force you to sleep, but they cannot change your brain activities. How do you take supplements? I'll give you an example. Let's say you've not slept well for a month and now your health is deteriorating. To force to sleep, I request you to take supplements. What are those? Magnesium, glycinate, L-theanine, glycine, melatonin. Remember, not everybody gets benefit out of melatonin. So melatonin should be taken in minor doses only when you have jet lag, not daily. My recommendation, if you do this, you're not going to have any problem. Be safe. And here's the thing, supplements are not tool, not cures. Always pair with sleep hygiene first. So here are the supplements breakdown. Magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate calms the nervous system, blocks excess glutamate activity, supports deep restorative sleep. Glycine itself lowers core body temperature, that is easier to fall asleep. And if you're going to ask me, the dosage recommendation is 3 grams before bed. You can take less than 3 grams at the beginning. L-theanine, found in green tea, increases GABA and alpha brain waves, promotes calm focus before bed. Apigenin from chamomile, mild sedative that binds the GABA receptors, support relaxation without grogginess. So you can consider that these are one of the best supplements, but take them in minor doses. The last thing that we all know, the famous, that supports the brain, and the brain also releases the same chemical, and that is melatonin. Like I said, you've got to be a little strategic in using melatonin. Best for jet lag or shift work. If you are having jet lag, you take minor doses of melatonin, or when you have shift in your work from day to night shift, you can take melatonin only when you think you're having a deprivation in your sleep. Helps reset circadian cycle, but not ideal as nightly crunch. Like I said, it is not a good thing to take a lot of melatonin. Take in minor doses. It's definitely going to help you. The next thing that comes, which is an optional, but I like it, valerian root. It's traditional herbal remedy, may improve sleep onset. Works for some, but not for everyone. So like I said, take in minor doses and see how it works. So how sleep supercharges the brain? We need to have sleep boosters. How do you do that? Creativity. How sleep boosters supercharge the brain? How do they do that? What are the things that the brain does if you're going to have a good sleep? When you boost your sleep, creativity that begins in REM, which is dream-inspired problem solving. Now this I'll talk in my coming future videos. If you want something to learn deeper about this, comment me below and I'll make a new video on the dream-inspired problem solving. Learning and exam performance. Students who sleep do better than cramers. Like I said, it does. Try it out. Emotional resilience. Better control over stress and anxiety. During research, studies have shown rats deprived of REM sleep die faster than those deprived of food. If I give an example, another living example, remember the famous Einstein famously slept 10 hours a night. Nikola Tesla, who barely slept and suffered a mental breakdown. So what's the catch? Your brain chooses burnout or brilliance. You decide what you want. You want burnouts or you want brilliance. Now my final call to all my fellow viewers who are watching me. I want to give you a challenge. I want to build a good community, a community that is much more healthier, not only physically, but mentally. Here's the one big challenge. Sleep is not waste time. It's brain fuel. It's the most powerful biohack you'll ever have. So tonight, instead of scrolling endlessly, I want you to try this. Set your phone aside an hour before bed. Dim your lights and let your brain do what evolution designed it to do. Because when you sleep better, you don't just live longer. Mark my words, you live smarter, calmer, and sharper. Now imagine millions of us treating sleep as sacred as work or money. What kind of world would we live in? And now, finally, here's my week sleep challenge to all of you. For the next 7 nights, pick at least 3 of the sleep hacks from this video, whether it's dimming lights before bed, setting a strict bedtime, or trying magnesium glycinate and stick with them. At the end of the week, I want you to come back to this video and drop a comment. Did your sleep improved or not? Do you feel sharper, calmer, or more energized? What hacks work best for you? Let's build a community of people who treat sleep like the ultimate brain hack. And who knows, your story might inspire someone else who finally reclaim their rest. So if this video helped you, share it with that one friend who thinks pulling all-nighters make them productive. Challenge them. And don't forget to subscribe, because next time we're diving deep into the hidden neuroscience of your brain. In the end, take care of your brain and it'll take care of you. I'll see you next time on a new video. Thank you.